experiment 5 is about SN1 and SN2 reactions. The purpose of this experiment is to study the relationship between structures and reactivity in aliphatic nucleophilic substitution reactions. That would be SN1 and SN2 reactions. So now I have the experiment set up in here. We have 8 alkyl halides. So 8 alkyl halides are the following: 1 chlorobutane, 1 bromobutane, bromocyclopentane, bromocyclohexane, 2 chlorobutane, 2 bromobutane, 2 chloro, 2 methylpropane, 2 bromo, 2 methylpropane. So I labeled this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 samples. And those reagents are here. So number 1 is 1 chlorobutane. And then number 2 is 1 bromobutane. And then number 3, bromocyclopentane. Number 4 is bromocyclohexane. And then number 5 is 2 chlorobutane. Number 6, 2 bromobutane. Number 7 is 2 chloro, 2 methylpropane, 7. And then number 8 is 2 bromo, 2 methylpropane. So we have 8 alkyl halides. And then I already labeled all the tubes. I labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and also the corks. So I have here a setup for the first part, and we are doing A. Part A is SN2 reaction. So that's the first reaction that we're going to be doing. And then because we're going to determine the time that it's going to react, I also have a timer in here. Timer. And then we are also going to heat it up. So I have the water bath set up. And then I'm going to measure the temperature set to 50 degrees C. And I have the pipettes in here. Pipettes. And then I also have waste. So the next step is I'm going to add 3 drops each of the samples labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to add 20 drops of the reagent, which is sodium iodide and acetone. So that's going to be the next step. So part A is the SN2 reaction. So I'm going to be doing now the first sample. And then, so what I'll do is I will add 1 drop and then I set the timer. And then I'll add the rest of the 20 drops, so 19 drops more. And then I will vortex, cap it, and then we will observe the appearance of cloudiness after I vortex. And then that's the time. And then we will also observe the amount of precipitate after 5 minutes for the sample. Okay, so sample 1, I add a drop. And there's always going to be some instantaneous cloudiness, but after you add more, or if I shake it, it will disappear. Okay, so first sample 1. Okay, so I'm going to add 19 drops more. and then I vortex it. So this one I see cloudiness, okay? So about 34 seconds, okay, I see cloudiness. So write that down, please. 34 seconds, I see cloudiness, right? And then I'm gonna do again for, I'm gonna do now for number 2 sample. I set it, okay, so this is sample 1, this is sample 2. So, okay, and then 1 drop. Okay, so start. Then I'm gonna add 19 drops more. Right? Okay, so 1 and 2. So if you compare actually this to, right now it's almost the same. Okay. Right? So I can see now cloudiness more here. So about 42 seconds, almost the same as the first one. But now we will see which one will have more precipitation depending on the time. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more here because it looks like it has less drops. So I'm gonna make it the same. Just maybe add 2 more drops. Okay. So now I have more in here, so that's like 1 minute and 35 seconds. This one, so this one is reacting more. This one is reacting less. So this is almost 3 minutes. So I saw this one at 1 minute and 35 seconds. So write that down, please, number 2. So the maximum for the first part is gonna be 5 minutes. If no precipitation after 5 minutes, we're gonna stick it into the water bath. Okay, so a lot more now here. So you can see black background. Okay, so we're making a comparison between the first one, first sample, and second. All right, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so this one is almost done, 5 minutes. So you can see, I can see now some precipitation at the bottom. Here, see white. However, this one has more. Look, okay? So this one has more precipitation, number 2 sample, compared to number 1. So obviously we don't have to heat this up because it already formed precipitate before 5 minutes. Okay, so I stopped that one. And then this one for almost 4 minutes, right? So this one has less than number 2. So now I can do 3. So the same idea. We're gonna do 1 more drop, 1 drop first. And then I set start. And then I'm gonna do 19 drops. Okay, so vortex, and then, so that's the time. So this one almost done. Okay, so again, comparing 1 and 2, 2 has more precipitation. Okay, so this is like a minute here. So do it here. Okay, so now we're gonna do, reset it to 0, we're gonna do 4. So let's just check this out. So I see some, so about 1 minute and 12 seconds, I see some cloudiness already. So write that down, please, number 3 sample. And then we're going to do 4. So again, 1 drop first. And then I set the timer. And then right. So okay, I think just 1 more drop. Okay, so now vortex. So right now I see some in here, some cloudiness. So that's about 48 seconds. Okay, and then we'll compare with the second one, number 2, like at 5 minutes, where we can see we compare the amount of precipitation that is formed when it reacted. So this one, so I see some cloudiness. It's about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, so write that down, please, number 3. Okay. Reactivity of 3 and 4 is not far, but I see more, slightly more in number 4. Okay, so now we can do number 5. And again, the same idea. Right? And then vortex. So I see something slightly, some cloudiness in here. So about 55 seconds for number 5. So this one is almost done for 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Is very little at the bottom, okay? So not a lot. It's cloudy. I see the white precipitation, and I'm gonna turn it off. Okay? So this one is similar to number 3. Similar, okay? So we can stick it in the water bath later to see more precipitation, but we'll let it sit. Okay, so we'll wait for this one, almost done. And I actually, I see a little bit. And then I'll stop it at 5 minutes. Okay, so between 3 and 4, it's cloudy, all right? Almost kind of similar, but compared to 2, it's less. Okay, you can see a lot here. So 2 has the most. So now if you compare 3 and 1, so this is 3 and 1. You have more here. So, but we'll let this settle, and then at the end we'll compare again. Okay. So number 5, I see I see more at the bottom actually here. So it's about 3 minutes 45 seconds. Okay. So that's number 5 here. So I'm gonna start number 6. So the same idea. So this one almost done. So I see at the bottom actually a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it. So if you compare 4 and 5, it's still similar. Okay, so nothing much. So you might have to heat this up. Okay, so now for number 6. So I see actually on the side, but not a lot. So it's around 1 minute 12 seconds, but let's leave it here. Okay, so this is number 6. So I see a little bit here, precipitations is about 3 minutes, right? And then I'm gonna do now number 7. So again, the same idea. Okay, so I don't see anything yet, just started. And then I'm gonna do now the last one. Okay, nothing yet. Okay, so last one. This one almost done, but I don't. Very slight precipitation at the bottoms. It's almost like 5 minutes in here. Okay, so this is number 6. All right, so I'm gonna stop, and then we have 1 minute 50 seconds in here. It's a little bit turbid, but I don't see the white precipitate that I see in here. Okay, that's number 2. And this is number 8. Okay. So when it's done at 5 minutes, I let it sit for another 5 minutes so that we can compare. So obviously all of it should have reacted by now at room temperature. And so if you compare 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6, they're very similar. There's slight precipitation at the bottom, very slight. And they're almost equal. And then we're gonna heat those up, see if we can make it precipitate more. So this one is already done. All right. And let's see. So right now, see something, but not quite. So let it sit for another 5 minutes and we'll compare. Okay? So I put tubes number 7 and 8 because it was not reacting fast enough. So it's been 5 minutes in the water bath, 50 degrees C. This one has been sitting for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna take this out, 7 and 8, and then we're going to compare the results. So let's review. Again, comparing 1 and 2, still the same. Number 2 has the most precipitate. Actually has the most precipitate out of the 8. Okay, and then the next is number 1. The bottom, you have the second most precipitate, and number 3 and number 4 are actually the next, but 3 and 4 are almost the same. All right, are almost the same number, the same amount of precipitate at the bottom. And then 5 and 6 actually almost the same, although 6 has the most compared to 3 and 4. So compared to 3, 4, and 5, 6 has the most. So 2 has the most, followed by 1, followed by 6, and these are all almost equal. And then this one, I have to heat this up, and I see precipitation at the bottom. So only when I heat this up that I see the precipitate at the bottom. So in terms of the amount of precipitate, this one has the most compared to 7. So now let's go over this again. Number 2 is the most reactive, followed by 1, followed by 6, and this 3 and 4 and 5 are almost the same. And the least would be 7 and 8, although 8 is going to be a little bit faster than 7, but this one is the slowest reactivity. So that's basically it for part A, which is the SN2 reaction. Part B is now SN1 reaction. So I will do the same set of alkyl halides. We have 8 samples, and the reagent this time is silver nitrate in 95% ethanol. So this is our reagent. But I'm going to be doing the same thing. I will put a drop, set the timer, put the remainder of the 20 drops, and then vortex, and then we will see if there's a precipitation that will form. Clear? Number 2. Clear? Nothing? Number 3. So instant precipitation on number 3. But we'll see what happens when we add more. So, so in 28 seconds, I see the precipitation number 3. One, two, starting at 1 minute 35 seconds. Number 1, no. Number 2, starting. See cloudiness. And then 3. Okay. So now we can do 4. So again, the same thing we're gonna do at 5 minutes and let it sit until we add on the rest of the sample. So number 4. I don't see. Okay. Clear, starting to be a little bit slightly turbid. So I see some at about 25 seconds. So if you compare 2 and 4, 4 is more intense than 2, okay? But comparing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 3 is the most. So this is done, but we'll let it go. All right, and put it here. So I put it at the back, and this is almost done here. So again, 3 is the most out of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then followed by 4, and then 2, and then 1 is the least for now. So this is almost done, 4.55 minutes. Okay, so put at the back. Okay. And this is almost done also, but again, it's the most precipitate. Okay. So this is almost done, 5 minutes here. So a few more seconds, 5 seconds. And then I'll turn this, okay? And that's 4, right? I'm gonna do now 5. So 5, do the same thing, same idea. See if we have some, okay, no, a little bit cloudy, but less than 3. And then I'm gonna set it, and then I'm gonna do more, 19 drops. That's 5. Okay, so nothing yet here, nothing. For 5, nothing. It's like 40 seconds. Now I'm gonna do 6. So 1 drop. So no cloudiness. Okay, vortex it. So I see some little bit of cloudy here. So in like 19 seconds, I see it. So number 6, I see some cloudiness, and we're gonna compare it with 3. Okay, so 3 is actually a lot more intense. All right. So 6 is here. So I saw it like in less than like 27 seconds or so. So this one, number 5, nothing. And number 4, still the same. Okay? So done for this one. So we compare 2. So 3 as the most, followed by 4, 2, and 1 the least. So number 5, clear, nothing. So this one started to precipitate out. Alright? Okay? And then I'm gonna do 7. Okay? So 7, let's see if there's some instant precipitation when I put a drop. So I see, okay? So I set it. So in like less than a second, I see a precipitation, but let's see if I put more. So I'm gonna put now 19 drops. Alright, so a lot, actually. So in like 26 seconds, I see a lot. Okay? So there's a lot here actually on the side. So 7 faster than 6. Okay? And then we're gonna do 8 next. So this one, nothing's going on 5. As well as 1. 2 has some, 3 the most in here, and we're gonna compare 3 and 7. So 7 actually much more, in less than it was faster than 3. So it's been like almost 11 minutes for the first one, okay, since we started. Okay, so 6. And then the last one is going to be number 8. And then we'll just finish this. So nothing, did not react. Okay, I don't see any white precipitation. And number 5. So we're going to heat up 1 and 5 later on. Okay, so done, 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to do now, so this is 6, and that's 7, and number 8. Okay, so number 8. So let's do 1 drop. Okay, so see, okay, I've not even started it. So now I'm gonna do 19 drops. Okay, so intense, very intense. Number 8 is the most intense, like 18 seconds or so. And if you compare it with 7, a lot more precipitation, okay, for 8. So this one almost done, right? So 6. Okay. So I'm gonna cap these. Set it aside, and it's about almost 13 minutes. So this is just basically at room temperature. Okay, so this is done. 5 minutes, done. Okay, so we're gonna let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then we make a comparison. And then we're gonna stick it. We're gonna stick this once it's about 16 minutes already. So I think we're gonna stick these in the water bath, okay, for 5 minutes, and then we'll compare. So total basically would be 20 minutes, but I heated up 1 and 5 for 5 minutes. So I'm just measuring the temperature of the water bath, and it's about 40, almost 49. So I've been heating it for more than 5 minutes. So the time that we started for sample 1 is now about 22 minutes. So I'm going to take this out. Number 5 is, you can see some cloudiness, but 1 is still clear. And now I'm going to put it back here so we can review. So again, the amount of precipitation and how fast we see the precipitation. So the fastest was 8, okay, followed by 7, 6, 4, and 3 are almost the same right now, the amount of precipitation. And then the next would be 2, all right, and then number 5 is very slow. I see, so a lot less intense, and then the least is 1. So 1 is unreactive, followed by 5. All right. So now let's do again. The fastest is 8, followed by 7, and then 6, 3, and 4 are almost the same in terms of the intensity of the precipitate, followed by 2, followed by 1, followed by 5, and the least is 1. So again, 8, 7, 6, 4, and 3 are almost the same, followed by 2, 5, and 1.